Welcome back to another Multiversus Yay or Nay episode. Today, we're going to be discussing none other than Spinel herself, not to be confused with Spinel from Killer Instinct, who is one of my favorite characters in that game, but that's kind of a moot point, because he has nothing to do with the character, besides their names are spelled the same. But either way, Spinel from the Steven Universe franchise. Now look, we already have two Steven Universe characters. But if they've already double dipped into a franchise, there's a good chance that they will relook at that franchise again to come up with another character at some point to be playable in Multiverses. So, Spinel, she's going to be an interesting one. Her name does get thrown around pretty decently, maybe not like the most wanted, but her name definitely does get thrown around inside Discord servers, on message boards, online basically. So, we'll see how she ends up doing. But as always, let's start off with what I came up with for her unique perk. Now this one is not going to make any sense whatsoever. I've never seen Steven Universe, but bear with me. The moves will make a lot more sense, I promise. But the unique perk I came up with, so there was the Steven Universe, I believe is the movie, right? Where she has this injector, and it's ginormous. So basically she injects it into the planet, she tries to poison it, and it ultimately ends up destroying the planet, right? Well, what if, for her perk, she uses that injector, but it's like a shrunken down version that she can just kind of like summon, and it will just kind of like, she can just inject it into a character, and it slowly poisons them. So that's where my mind went. Again, this makes absolutely no sense because I don't know the character, so I do apologize, but just because I don't know a character doesn't mean I'm not going to at least try. The unique perk for this one was really weird for me to come up with, but I promise. Once we get to the moves, they will be much more solid. But for the unique perk, like I said, she'll take that injector from the movie, I believe it was. It's going to be a shrunken down version. She'll be able to summon it periodically, and she can inject it into her opponent, which then poisons them over time, so they get a poison effect. So they accumulate damage over time. It makes sense, but then again, no, it doesn't. Oh my god, that was terrible. Alright, move number one. These ones will make much more sense. I've already said that twice, so they better make sense. So first up, let's talk about her scythe. This one, if this isn't a part of the moveset, I would literally be upset, and I don't really even know who the character is. One, scythe is like my favorite weapon, and it's an underrated weapon, underused weapon too. I love scythe. I don't know why, they just look badass, and I would love to see some sort of scythe user in the game. Actually, I'd love to see multiple, so either way, the scythe. So her scythe, right? I believe, after doing a little research, the scythe has the ability to, like, wipe the minds of the gems in the Steven Universe show and movie, right? So, I guess you can't really have that as an ability for the game, right? So, why don't we just take the scythe and use it simply as a scythe? So, she will just use it for attacking purposes. There's going to be no secondary mind wipes here. Okay, this isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! We're not playing no card games. So, she's just going to take the scythe, slash it forwards, slash it backwards, wherever the scythe might come into play for her moveset. I envision this being some sort of forward smash or strong attack. I mean, you could use it in multiple ways too, a back air, a forward air, a down air, neutral air. There's many uses you can get out of this, but for sure I envision a forward smash or a strong attack for sure. Move number two, I'm going to go with her spring punch. Now, one of Spinel's best abilities is her stretchiness, I guess we'll say. So obviously, that needs to be used somehow in her moveset, right? So I came up with, I didn't come up with it, it's a part of what she does. So the next idea I had was the springy punch. So basically, she will end up coiling her arm up, and then she will unload this massive punch into the opponent. So this will definitely give a little bit of range to her attacks, which again, anybody that can have more range to their arsenal just helps them out a bit more. But yes, I believe this should be like a move that needs to be, I don't know if you want to say charged up, but maybe a little startup lag to it. So the fist will appear, it'll be coiled up, and she'll kind of like start reaching back, like kind of cocking back for the punch, and then she'll let it go. So maybe like 1.5 seconds of startup lag, if you will. I don't even know if that will be too much or too little, but 1 second of startup lag, and then she unwinds it and lets that punch fly, and so maybe this works like a oh, I don't know, a neutral special? No, not a neutral special. What about maybe a side special, possibly down special? I don't know. Possibly some sort of special attack. I think this works pretty well, but yep, close upper arm, cocks back a little bit of startup leg for the attack, and then unloads a giant, massive punch into the opponent, or maybe two of them, depending on how big the fist is. Move number 3, let's go with the Twister Dash, I think this is what it's called. Again, she's able to stretch and kind of make her body in all sorts of weird different shapes, which really comes in handy when you're fighting, right? It can do all sorts of things. So for this one, Spinel will twist into like a tornado-like pose, a twister, and she will rapidly start spinning around, hitting her opponents multiple times. So I could kind of envision this one somewhat similar to, say, Rob in Smash Bros. With his side special. Something like that, you know, kind of the arms are just twisting all around, you know, circling around her, circling around. And then, you know, each punch is just kind of like, it's a multi-hit sort of attack. It won't have the greatest knockback, it won't have the greatest power, but it should be a solid tool to use to just kind of rack up a little bit of damage here and there. So, and plus, you know, if it's anything like Rob in Smash Bros, this could possibly even reflect incoming projectiles. So, just you know, fun little idea that, I mean, I keep saying I came up with, but I didn't create the character, so it's just something I thought of that made sense for a move. So, yeah, the Twister Dash spin thing. I forgot what I called it. All right, moving on to the alternate costumes now. This was tough. This was tough looking for stuff. There was one that immediately stood out, and I believe this one is called her original factory setting look. So, I know the evil version of Spinel has the heart, her gem, upside down, and it, you know, that kind of basically says she's evil, right? So the factory setting, the heart is right side up, how it's supposed to look, right? So I suppose that could definitely be an alternate costume. You know, nothing too big gets changed around. You can still tell it's Spinel and all that stuff. But when I was trying to come up with other alternate costumes, there wasn't a whole lot that I was finding. So I had to take something. It's not a costume, but I think you could possibly turn this into a costume. I would buy this. I don't know if Spinel would be one of my most played characters, but I would absolutely buy this. And I called this the Shadow look. I believe this is from when she arrives, and I think this is from the movie again, if I'm not mistaken, but the Shadow look. So yeah, I know this, again, it's not an actual costume, it's just kind of like her lurking in the shadows, sort of speak, you know. But she's like cloaked in the shadowy look, and I don't know, I just thought this thing looked really cool. And if you could make that a skin, like she's not like completely like blacked out, you can kind of see like the faint colors, the faint design of her, well, actual design, but she's still got the shadowy cloaked look, and I just thought that looked so good. And you made that a skin, I'd buy that in a heartbeat. Put that in the item shop and I'll be like, yo, I need money in my account, so I will do that quickly, and there you go, purchased, and thank you. Now for the yay or nay portion of the video, giving my little opinion here, that not that anyone cares, but for me, I'll be honest, you could have came to me last week and said, how many more Steven Universe characters would you like to see? And I would have said none. I haven't seen much of the show. I've seen the movie. I've seen a couple episodes. I mean, I can't say that I don't like it, but like I'm definitely willing to watch more. And I don't know, there's something about Spinel. What was that? What was the song? The friend song. Her other friends. Oh, I love that. That's actually kind of a banger, dude. I kind of like that song. It was stuck in my head when I listened to it the first time. I was like, other friend, and I started singing that out loud. And I was like, hopefully nobody heard me because I'm terrible at singing. But you know what? I'm actually going to give Spinel a yay. I mean, it's going to be kind of like a lower yay because there's still many other characters I'd prefer to see before her. But you know what? I'm actually going to say yay. I would like to see Spinel get in the game. Yes. I never thought I would say that. I didn't, up until like a month ago, I had no clue this character even existed. So that's pretty cool. But let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Yay for Spinel. You want to see her playable, or nay, you don't want to see her playable. That is going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and goodbye.